Love. Welcome into tonight's coverage of Hayes Larks baseball on the Larks Network. As tonight, the Larks will look for another big win, fresh off of a shutout victory as they take on the Gameday Angels. Welcome into the pregame show, everyone. My name is Hank Corsair, once again joined alongside by Eli Blankenship. And the Larks had another big win last night, getting a 6-0 shutout, scoring the first 2 runs of the game, and then relying on the pitching to take care of things from there.
Yeah, it was a masterclass from the bullpen yesterday. Simon Lunsford, of course, had a quality start. 6 scoreless innings, 10 strikeouts on 3 hits. Excellent performance from him. And then, of course, following it up, Braden Cox had a great performance on the hill and actually recorded a save. I was talking to you about that last night, that it's kind of a quirky rule in baseball that if a pitcher pitches the last 3 innings and wins the contest, then it is considered a save. So Braden Cox actually picked up a save in that contest, despite the Larks winning 6-0 against the Gameday Angels in Game 1.
And the Larks continue to win in dominant fashion, and tonight they have another big opportunity to not only get another win, but get off to one of their best starts ever, because I'm looking back at historical records. I cannot find anything of the Larks starting 9-0, which they can do tonight.
Yeah, that would be extremely impressive, and I think some really good momentum for this Larks team as they continue to really build that chemistry that we've already seen kind of brewing. And it's really fun. It's always really fun to see this Larks team slowly build their chemistry, and you can see them play higher quality baseball as the season continues. We're already seeing them play good quality baseball right now, and it's only going to get better from here as they build their camaraderie.
And looking at the Gameday Angels, they're trying to bounce back from another loss. They're trying to get above 500. If you look back to last season, they could never really break that barrier. They got off to I believe a 5-4 start, and then after that they couldn't get back above 500. So they got the opportunity to get back to that even number, but they need to have some things go their way tonight, because looking at last night's game, the pitching had some strong moments, but then the bats never really woke up.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that the Gameday Angels yesterday, their pitching started a little bit sporadic. They gave up those 2 runs in the first inning. If they can limit that first inning to a scoreless inning and keep themselves in the contest of this Larks team, I think we could see them put up a fight. I think last night, had they limited those runs earlier in the contest, I think that they would have had in their head that they actually had a fighting chance. But it's such a mental game sometimes when you play a team of this caliber like the Larks.
We are 11 minutes away from first pitch in the 9th game of the 2026 season. First pitch is up next. It is time for the middle part of this three-game series as the Larks look to get to a 9-0 start, and the Angels are trying to avoid back-to-back losses. The starter on the mound tonight for the Larks is number 21, Max Hendricks, the freshman right-hander from Pima Community College, making his second start. His first one was back on June 4th when the Larks took on the Boulder Collegians. He pitched in 4 innings and recorded 4 strikeouts in that game. So this is his third appearance overall and second start. The leadoff batter for the Gameday Angels is number 9, Matthew Shipley, for the second game in a row. They go with the sophomore from UC Colorado Springs, who went 1 for 3 last night. As some shirts are thrown into the crowd as we await the first pitch, courtesy of Freddy's, one of tonight's game sponsors. Hendricks gets set, sends the first pitch to the plate, and this one's going to be popped up into the air. Running after it is Tabor Stokes, the shortstop, and he's got it as he backpedals for out number 1.
1 pitch, 1 out. I'm sure that starting pitcher Max Hendricks is not upset about that one. That's a easy way to get it out, especially a good way to kind of set the pace and settle into your groove.
First pitch tonight comes at 7:06 p.m. with it being 86 degrees outside with not a cloud in the sky. 10-mile-per-hour winds are coming out of the northeast, and you can feel humidity tonight, making it feel like 88. Ball 1 was the first pitch there to number 5, Dylan Volts. Here's the rest of the Angels order. Batting third is number 25, James Harbison. Number 15, Tyler Jenrich returns to the cleanup spot. Batting fifth is David Brab. He's the DH. The sixth batter is number 30, Kyle Hubert. Next pitch is too low for ball 2. And the final 3 batters in the order are number 12, Peyton Mitchlig, number 16, Logan Sullivan, and number 2, Tyler Tiedemann. Dylan Volts, another Division II player for this Angels team, a junior out of Valdosta State. They'll leave that one upstairs for ball 3. This is Volts' seventh game with the Angels. Team high 556 on base percentage. As Hendricks delivers the pitch, and this one will go outside, and on 4 pitches, Dylan Volts will walk.
Well, he started off pretty hot with that 1 pitch, 1 out, and then pretty much does the polar opposite there with a four pitch walk. And all Max Hendricks can do now is forget about that one and just move on to the next batter.
The starting pitcher from yesterday's game, James Harbison, bats third tonight. He's playing in right field. And here is the Larks defensive alignment. Cooper Holtorf will play in left field. The center fielder is once again Max Flowers. And Sean Keenan is back in right field. Brand Wilson is the catcher. The ball is going to get sent to him, and it's a changeup that's too high. And it starts the count off 1-0. At first base is number 34, Tanner Norman. Next to him is number 3, Rainer Bean. The shortstop is number 6, Tabor Stokes, who got the first out. And a new face is into the lineup tonight at third base. It's number 15, Hutch Russell. And a swing and a miss there on the second pitch. Harbison now has to deal with a 1-1 count.
Well, we saw Harbison last night on the hill. He pitched for the Gameday Angels, so I'll be interested to see what kind of things he can do on the offensive side of the baseball as well, now playing more of a utilitarian position here tonight.
Despite playing in only 4 games, he has a team-high 9 hits, and now he's down 1-2 as he swings and misses at another one.
I must say I really like his lavender wooden bat. That's a really neat color. The Dylan LaRue's got his orange one, and now Harbison has got a really neat one. He's got a lavender bat. I've never seen one like that before.
That's definitely a new color, and this one's fouled off. Harbison stays alive. Looking at what he did this season at UC Colorado Springs, this was his senior year. He batted .350 and recorded 50 hits in the process, giving him an overall slugging percentage of .643. Brand Wilson moves off to the side and puts his glove on the outside. This one's hit right back up to Max Hendricks. He looks over at second, and that throw is going to get away from Rainer Bean. He couldn't quite get it into his glove, and it rolls into the outfield. Max Flowers will throw it back in.
I would imagine that'll probably go down as an E4. They're going to say E1, at least according to the scoreboard. And I guess the throw was slightly offline, so I suppose you could probably credit that to Hendricks there on the air. So it's unfortunate because Hendricks made the right decision to go ahead and whip it around and throw it to second. It just didn't really go the way they were hoping it to. They could have really turned that into some really productive outs there if they could have turned the double play.
Tyler Jenrich, a college teammate of James Harbison, is the 4th batter for the second night in a row. Hendricks looks back at second, delivers the pitch, and this one targets the inside part of the plate, and it's not there. The umpires for tonight's game are Jeremy Nelson behind the plate, and out in the field is Randy Jordan. Hendricks comes set. Still watching that runner at second. And he goes to the slider, and that one gets in the zone for strike one.
It was a pretty slider, just painted the outside edge of the zone and just was able to pinpoint that spot of the strike zone. Beautiful pitch location there for Max Hendricks. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go back inside on him now.
That is where Brand Wilson is putting his glove. Next pitch is a swing and a miss, and now Jenrich is down 1-2. Back-to-back batters there for Max Hendricks. He deals a 1-2 count. The first out was a pop out to the shortstop Tabor Stokes. That was Matthew Shipley. And Hendricks kicks and deals. This one's a hard ground ball fielded by Rainer Bean. He'll tag the runner and then throw it down to first base, and this one is not in time. Tanner Norman thought he got him out, but the field umpire is going to call him safe.
It's interesting. I don't know if he corrected himself or something, but he initially punched his arm in the air, signaling he was out, but I don't know.
Runners are now at the corners for the Angels as they look for their first runs of this series. Next batter is number 6, David Brabb, the DH. He's batting fifth tonight. He was third in last night's game, but moves down 2 spots after an 0-for-4 performance. He starts with 1 ball in the count. And the next pitch to Brabb is going to be chopped foul, and a Larks player jumped out of the dugout to field that. I think from up here that looked like
I think that was Cade Green over there.
Number 12. Yes.
That was impressive over there on the end of the dugout there from Cade Green. He made a jumping catch to be able to haul that one in.
I had to go through the lineup to think about it because there's just some players that you don't see and you don't even think about them.
Yeah.
The 1-1 goes to the plate, and it's a swing and a miss. The slider gets him, and Brabb is down with 2 strikes. Hendricks looking for his first strikeout of the night. He's gotten 4 in each of his 2 appearances. Brabb stands close to the plate. The pitch is on the way, and this one's a line drive. This one's going to go into right field and bring the runner from third home and advance the other runner to second.
Pretty solid at bat there for Brabb Jr. Not a bad pitching exchange either for Max Hendricks. I mean, he really did most everything right in that sequence, and Brabb Jr. just was able to get a piece of it and was able to hit a bloop single out into right, and there's not a whole lot you can really do about that if you're a pitcher.
Now up is the center fielder Kyle Hubert, number 30, responsible for 2 of the base hits from the Angels last night. As a team, while they weren't able to score any runs, they recorded 5 hits, and 2 other players walked. Count begins 1-0 to the freshman from Gateway Community College. Wilson will center his glove this time. Hendricks delivers the pitch, and it's another line drive, this time into the right center gap. This one's going to roll towards the wall, take 1 bounce, and fielding it is Max Flowers. 1 run is in. The second runner is getting the windmill from the third base coach, and the throw is not in time. And the throw now down to third, and that one is out. So 2 runners do score there, and the Angels take a 3-0 lead, but that's the end of the inning. We'll see how the Larks respond when we come back. In that top of the first inning, the Gameday Angels got 3 runs on 2 hits, and the Larks committed 1 error. And because of that base-clearing double from Kyle Hubert bringing in 2 runs, he was out at third. He tried advancing, but couldn't get there in time, so no one was left on base. The Larks will now turn to Braden Hebner to lead things off once again. This time he's in the DH spot tonight, and he is facing number 33, Cosme Vera Jr., the freshman right-hander out of Seward County Community College and an Aurora, Colorado native. First pitch dealt to Hebner is a ball. After Hebner, the Larks will send up number 5, Max Flowers, and number 3, Rainer Bean. Number 7, Sean Keenan bats 4th. The new player into the lineup, number 15, Hutch Russell, is batting 5th. Brandon Wilson bats 6th. And the final 3 batters in the Larks order are Tanner Norman, Cooper Holtorf, and Tabor Stokes.
Well, you do wonder how different that first inning could have been if the Larks were able to turn that double play over there on second base. They're going to have to deal with some adversity here early in this one.
It's definitely going to be a challenge. The Larks have a 18-game win streak here at Larks Park to defend. That last loss was 362 days ago against the Gameday Angels.
Well, and you and I have frequently talked about this the last couple days, is that it always seems like the Angels will always surprise the Larks. They'll just get one game where they just all of a sudden flip a switch, and they really compete with this Larks team. So
this is the 12th game between the two squads since 2024. Count moves to 3-2 now to Braden Hebner. Looking back at this series since 2024, the Larks are 9-2 against the Angels, and those 2 losses, one was in 2024 and the other was in 2025. So the Angels are trying to continue that trend tonight. The payoff pitch to Hebner is too low, and he's going to walk as the leadoff batter. That'll bring up number 5, Max Flowers, a player that we got the chance to interview last night after he played a role in 3 of the Larks' 6 runs. He went 1 for 4, getting a run, and the 2 RBIs came from his base hit that he had. Hebner takes a lead over at first base. The pitch goes to the plate, and it's outside for ball 1.
Hebner's pretty speedy. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him be a little bit aggressive here on the base paths, especially with the Larks playing down now by a deficit of 3.
So another 1-0 count to start for Cosme Vera Jr. In his 3rd start with the Angels, he comes in with an 0-1 record in 4 innings. He's given up 9 hits and 8 earned runs, and has also recorded 3 strikeouts. That next pitch was called a strike to Max Flowers. Count moves to 1-1. We'll take a look at the Angels' defensive alignment here in just a second. As the throw goes back to first base, it's not in time. Hebner slides back safely. Matthew Shipley is back in left field. The center fielder is number 30, Kyle Hubert. And number 25, James Harbison, the starting pitcher from last night's game, is in right field. A new player into the lineup is number 16, Logan Sullivan. He is the catcher. And Hebner will try to steal second base, but he'll have to head back. This one's fouled out of play, and Flowers is now down 1-2.
It's one of those situations where you're kind of playing a hit-and-run game, especially in a 1-2 count. You want to avoid that double play ball at all costs over at second base. Hebner had a really good jump off of first base. He was already almost to the bag by the time the ball had reached the plate. So I think that's the right call there from the Larks to go ahead and send him early to avoid that double play, but they've got to be wary of that if there is a ball thrown.
Vera Jr. delivers the pitch. This one's chopped over to the shortstop, Mitchlig. And he looks over to second, sliding in as Hebner, but he is out.
And it's funny because that's exactly what they were trying to avoid on that last pitch that was fouled away. And just think that baseball is such a game of timing. You know, it's like if that would have happened a pitch before that, you know, he might have been safe at second, and then the guy might have been, you know, Flowers might have been safe at first. So it's just so funny how baseball works that way sometimes.
Rainer Bean, the only Lark to have 2 hits in last night's game, bats 3rd. And here is the infield for the Angels. It's actually the same infield that they had last night, as that one's called a strike. The Larks get a successful steal over at second. Flowers slid a little bit too hard, went off the bag, but was back in time.
Yeah, he made a last-ditch effort to just reach at that bag and was able to just get the corner of it just enough to where he could pull himself back onto the base, but he was going so fast that he couldn't really slow himself down. usually guys will try to slow themselves down with the base with using their arms and maybe their stomach a little bit, and he just was going so quick he wasn't able to.
Pop fly here for Rainer Bean. Getting to it is Mitchlig, and he's got another out. I'm trying to read off the infield for the Angels, but it feels like every time I get set to do it, the ball goes back in play. So as Sean Keenan's walking to the plate, I'll do that right now. It's actually the same infield as last night's game. Tyler Tiedemann is at third. Tyler Jenrich is at the opposite corner at first. And on the middle part of the infield is Dylan Volts, the second baseman, and Peyton Mitchlig, the shortstop.
Got to talk quick in this contest, otherwise they're going to put that ball back into play. Going to get cut off again.
So Sean Keenan awaits the pitch from Cosme Vera Jr. He looks at second and then turns his attention back to the plate. He actually started his motion while he was still watching second, and he deals a 1-0 count to Sean Keenan.
That would throw me off if I was a pitcher. I wouldn't be able to not look at the plate and be able to really dial in on where I'm throwing the ball.
Flowers gets halfway down the base path. This one will miss the zone, and Sean Keenan gets ahead 2-0.
Keenan's done a nice job at laying off those pitches that are down and away. He needs to keep that discipline up there at the plate.
Sean Keenan will be followed by Hutch Russell and Brand Wilson. This is the middle part of the Larks order. And a throw back to second base. That one almost got away from Mitchlig, but he makes the catch, and Flowers slides back safely. That's what Flowers does so well. He's such an athletic guy that he can take those big leads and still manage to get back safely.
He's got a pretty good reach, and it allows him to give himself a little bit of extra room off the base path as opposed to having that primary lead. You have a little bit more of a secondary lead almost as your primary.
Another pitch outside, and Sean Keenan is now ahead 3-0. I really want to ask Max Flowers if his athleticism comes from football, because he was a huge standout at Blue Valley Southwest, and he is a kicker who I believe redshirted this last season for Hutchinson Community College. And this one will get away from Sean Keenan again, and he's going to head down to first base. That's now the second time a Lark has walked in this inning. So the Larks trying to start a two-out rally as a new face makes his way up to the plate. It's number 15, Hutch Russell, the younger brother of former Lark Houston Russell, who was a part of that 2024 championship team. Makes his first appearance here in Hayes. Looking at Hutch Russell, he's a sophomore from Seminole State Community College, a team that went to the 2026 JUCO World Series in Grand Junction, Colorado. Throw back to second base, and Flowers is there in time. And with the season that Hutch Russell had, he's going to head up to the Division I level this next year, playing for KU.
Now you're not a huge fan of the Jayhawks up north, but still a pretty cool deal that he gets to go play for the Jayhawks, especially considering the season they just had.
Flowers makes his way down to third, and he slides in safely, and so does Sean Keenan. He advances to second. And going back to Hutch Russell, talking about him going to KU, it's going to be interesting to see what he does there, because, like you said, KU had a very successful season making the Super Regional, and they did that with a majority of their roster coming from that JUCO level.
Seems as though they've got their act together in terms of trying to find good recruits, and that tells me that Hutch Russell's pretty elite if he's getting signed on over at KU.
1-1 count now to the third baseman. And he hits a line drive, this one going into right field, and this one will stay fair, going all the way to the 319 mark in the right field corner. Flowers is in, and so is Sean Keenan. Hutch Russell's very first hit as a Lark is a 2 RBI double to make it a 1-run game.
Well, we were just talking about how this kid must be elite, and already stepping up to the occasion on his first at bat as a Hayes Lark and driving in 2 very important runs, cutting that deficit down to just 1 run.
Now up to the plate, number 32, Brand Wilson, the catcher. He is one of 3 new faces in the lineup tonight, along with Hutch Russell and Cooper Holtorf. Vera Jr. focuses on the batter, and this one's hit a line drive off of the dugout fence of the Game Day Angels. It begins the count 0-1. The catcher will put his glove in the center part of the plate. Vera Jr. will deliver it to him, and it's a chipped bat that will roll over to Volts, and he has got the throw down to first base in time for out number 3. As the umpire will pick up that piece of the bat, that will take us to the end of the first inning. But the Larks respond after going down 3-0, getting a 2 RBI double from Hutch Russell to make it a 1-run game. A very productive first inning from both teams. The Game Day Angels have a 3-2 lead starting the top of the second inning. Both teams scored in, you could say, creative ways, as 5 runs were scored combined, but only 3 hits were recorded.
It's manufacturing runs. I mean, that's what it is. And it's like, you know, the offense might not be clicking on all cylinders, but you find a way to get it done. That's important as a team trying to keep up with another team in a contest like this, especially for the Larks getting down 3 runs in that first inning. They were able to manufacture some runs even despite only having 1 hit.
Peyton Mitchell leads off the inning at the start of the bottom third, that is, of the Angels lineup. He begins with a 1-0 count. Last night, Mitchell had a walk and a single, and overall went 1 for 3. Next pitch is popped up, going towards the Larks dugout. Russell runs after this one, and this lands out of play. Max Hendricks is back to the mound for the second inning. This is his second start with the Larks. He went 4 innings in his first one on June 4th when the Larks took on the Collegians. And a swing and a miss on a 1-1 count puts Hendricks ahead.
Well, I think the score, the amount of runs, I guess, that Hendricks has let in so far is very deceiving because he's done a nice job in his pitch sequences. He's just kind of had unlucky breaks here and there on these pitch counts.
The 1-2 goes to the plate, and this one targeted the outside corner. Hendricks can't get it in there, and now it's an even count with 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Wilson held that one there for a little bit longer than normal just to see if home plate umpire Jeremy Nelson would change his mind on that pitch call. It was really close.
Goes to the changeup that time, putting it on the inside part of the plate. It's not there, and it leads to a full count. The payoff pitch will go to the plate. And this one's a fly ball into center field. Flowers is going to run back to track it down, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
Well fought by Mitchell there on that at bat. I mean, that wasn't an easy out by any means for Max Hendricks, and obviously it was a pretty routine fly ball out to Flowers, but he made Hendricks battle for it, and Hendricks has got to make sure he's staying efficient up there on the hill. Otherwise, he might have a little bit shorter start than he was expecting.
New face in the lineup, the catcher number 16, Logan Sullivan, will watch the first pitch go by, and it gets into the zone for strike 1. Logan Sullivan just graduated from Air Academy High School, located on the Air Force Academy base in Colorado. He is committed to play at Polk State College next season. Fouling off the next pitch, he's down 0-2.
And this is what I'm talking about. Hendricks has done a nice job at getting ahead in the counts, but it's sometimes just the nature of baseball. You just get unlucky. There is an element of luck sometimes to this game, and it's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles.
Hendricks looking for his first strikeout of the night, and he doesn't quite get it just yet. That one's outside for ball 1. This is Sullivan's 12th plate appearance and potentially 10th at-bat on this young season. He swings and misses on the outside there, and they will not call that a drop third strike. It's a swing and a miss for the first strikeout of the night.
Great pitch sequence there from Max Hendricks. Got him to chase the pitch down and away. Didn't get too greedy on an 0-2 count. Didn't try anything crazy. Just a simple pitch down and away. That's a signature strikeout pitch for most pitchers.
The Larks have a chance for a 3-up, 3-down inning after facing 6 batters in the first. That brings up the 9-hole hitter, Tyler Tiedemann. He starts with one ball in the count. Tiedemann is a sophomore from Las Vegas, Nevada. And his next pitch goes inside, and he's ahead 2-0. Tiedemann attends College of St. Scholastica as a transfer from Regis, which is why he has a connection in Colorado. That next pitch got in the zone. He thought about taking a swing at it, and he's now faced with a tied count at 2-1. This one's chopped, going down that third base line. Hutch Russell fields it, but in foul territory. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to the third baseman. Larks just need one more strike for a 3-up, 3-down inning. Peyton Mitchell had the fly out to center field. Logan Sullivan struck out swinging on a 1-2 count. And here's the 2-2 pitch to Tiedemann. He pops this one up. Hutch Russell will call for it. Standing on the third base bag, now goes away from it. He's got the catch for the third and final out. 3-up, 3-down inning there for the Larks defensively. We'll see how they can respond with the bats as they will bring their three final batters up, just like the Angels. Tanner Norman leads things off in the bottom of the second inning, followed by Cooper Holtorf and Tabor Stokes. Cosme Vera Jr., the starter for the Angels tonight, is back on the mound. This is his third start and third appearance with the team. And he begins with a 1-0 count to Tanner Norman, putting that one on the outside part of the plate. Norman reached base once in yesterday's game with a walk. And the next pitch goes outside again, and Tanner Norman doesn't swing at it. 2 balls and no strikes. Catcher continues to target that outside. This one finds the strike zone, moving the count to 2-1. Cosme Vera Jr. is from Stewart County Community College, where he pitched in 13 games, and in those games he had a total of 8 starts and finished the year with a 3-1 record. Now he's in search of his first win with the Angels. Count is 3-1 to Tanner Norman. Next pitch is outside once again. He tried getting Tanner Norman to take a swing at that one, but it doesn't get in the zone. There is another walk for the Larks. And when you think back to Tanner Norman last night, he did bite on some of those outside pitches, and the Angels definitely remember that. That's where they continue to target there, but he didn't take a swing at that one.
Yeah, Norman really struggled at the plate in last night's contest. Kind of uncharacteristic for him. He's usually a pretty consistent bat for the Larks, but just kind of had an off night, and I think he's hoping to turn it around here tonight already, getting himself on base with that base on balls.
1 ball in the count to Cooper Holtorf in his 6th game with the Larks, trying to extend a 4-game hit streak. He gets a line drive into center field. Hubert will run back for this one, and he can't make the over-the-shoulder grab. The hit streak continues to 5 games. Tanner Norman will be sent home from third. A chance for a triple for Cooper Holtorf, and he is successful, and the Larks tie the game up just like that.
Well, that's one way to drive in a run. Wow, what a hit there for Cooper Holtorf. I mean, just crushed that ball out into center field, got every bit of it, and it was a beautifully hit ball, got it right on the sweet spot. You could hear it up here in the press box, how well he hit that ball, and was able to just drop it over the head of the center fielder, Hubert, and he really didn't have much of a chance. He just turned on the afterburners, and Holtorf was just gone. And an excellent job there from Holtorf to have that heads-up base running ability and driving that run as well.
Now the final batter in the Larks order, it's number 6, Tabor Stokes. First pitch to him is a ball. He scored one of the Larks' runs last night, and also was walked twice. Vera Jr. delivers. This one's fouled out of play into the parking lot of Doom. Count now stands at 1-1. Tabor Stokes, a junior from Ball State. He's now officially been in the transfer portal for 2 weeks. Another foul ball will land over the Angels dugout. Stokes now faces a 1-2 count. Stokes' teammate Braden Hebner is in the on-deck circle. And Vera Jr.'s next pitch is going to take a bounce on home plate, then roll away from the catcher, but he's able to retrieve it, and the count moves to 2-2.
Yeah, Holtorf was watching really closely. He thought about going on that one, but it was wise not to, as Vera Jr. was ready to cover home plate had he decided to run home.
The catcher centers his glove as they look for the third strike. This one's going to be popped up, and it'll land out of play. This will be the 6th pitch of the at-bat. The pitch is on the way, and this one's a line drive that goes off of the glove of Jenrich over at first base. It rolls to the right fielder, and they will list that one as a hit as the Larks get their first lead of the night.
And I agree with that decision to go ahead and rule that a hit, as that ball was nearly uncatchable just as hard as that ball was hit. Props to Tabor Stokes to square up on that one and drive in that go-ahead run. Now the Larks up a run already here in the second inning.
And already the Gameday Angels will make a change on the mound here in the bottom of the second. So one full inning tonight for Cosme Vera Jr. will be the end. We'll see who the new pitcher is when we come back. After pitching only one full inning, Cosme Vera Jr. gives up 3 hits and 4 runs and gives up 3 walks. And now the Gameday Angels will turn to another arm from Seward County Community College. It's number 4, Nick Mo Oaks, the freshman right-hander from Parker, one of 6 Parker natives on this Angels roster. He has pitched in now 4 games with the team. It's primarily one of their more late inning guys, as he has 1 save on the year. But they will sub him in for the bottom of the second. Still no outs, and the runner at first is Tabor Stokes, who had the RBI single just a moment ago, putting it right over the first baseman's head. And Braden Hebner will foul off the first pitch. So far in the year for Nick Mo Oaks, he's given up 4 hits and 1 earned run, has 5 strikeouts, and his opponents have recorded a 235 batting average. Stokes will take off for second base. This one is going to be called a strike, and it's going to roll to the outfield, and now Stokes will make his way over to third. So on the air, he makes it to third after the stolen base, and he's now 90 feet away from home plate. Oh, 0-2 count to Braden Hebner. He was faced with a full count in his first appearance, walked, and then got out at second on a fielder's choice. The middle infielders for the Angels will stand in the grass. This one's going to be popped out of play. Feels like every pop fly that goes out of play has landed in pretty much the same spot, just right behind the press box, a little bit off to the side though.
The wind is certainly not doing any of those foul balls any favors. It's blowing out of left field and kind of going towards the batters this evening.
A fly ball into the left center gap. Both Shipley and Hubert will run after this one, and it's going to be Hubert that makes the catch on the run, looking straight up. But that's going to give Tabor Stokes plenty of time to walk home. A sacrifice fly for Braden Hebner gives the Larks a 5-3 lead. Now up is the 8th Street Liquor beverage batter, Max Flowers. We'll see if he can get his first hit of the night right here. He actually reached base in the first inning and was responsible for the Larks' first run. That was, however, on a fielder's choice. He also stole 2 bases in the process. And he starts with an 0-1 count and 1 out. Rainer Bean is on deck. Sean Keenan is in the hole. These are the usual first 4 batters for the Larks. It's Hebner, Flowers, Bean, and Keenan. Nick Mo Oaks' next pitch is too high and outside for ball 1. Nick Mo Oaks played in 10 games at Seward County this last season, only making 1 start. 23 1/3 innings were his total. Swinging and missing, the count moves to 1-2. We'll see what Flowers does this time. He faced a 1-2 count in his first appearance. And this time he's dealing with 1 out. Catcher puts his glove on the outside. And this one's a fly ball going towards the fan picnic pavilion. Flowers stays alive. This will be the 5th pitch of the current at-bat for Max Flowers. Nick Mo Oaks delivers. And this one's outside, ball 2. Flowers continuing to show his plate discipline here early in the season. Still a team high in on-base percentage at .742 in 31 plate appearances. Also leads the Larks in 6 other major batting categories. This one bounces away from the catcher, and just like that, it's a full count for Max Flowers after he was down 0-2. Rainer Bean stands in the on-deck circle. Sean Keenan is the batter in the hole. And Max Flowers awaits the payoff pitch. Here it comes from Mo Oaks. And this one is left outside, and Max Flowers is on base for the 2nd time tonight. A 7-pitch plate appearance that time for the center fielder out of Hutchinson Community College. We'll bring up number 3, Rainer Bean, the freshman from Murray State. Flowers taking a lead over at first base. Jenrich covering the bag, and the throw goes back there. It is not in time. Larks so far have 3 runs in this inning. The Angels jumped out to a 3-0 lead after the top of the first. The Larks responded in the bottom half with 2 runs, and now have scored 3. Foul out of play that time by Bean. Count moves to 0-1. Flowers already has two steals tonight, and they will throw back to keep him at first. Catcher Sullivan positions his glove, and a throw back to first base, and that one, it is in time. So Flowers will be the 2nd out of the inning. He took too big of a lead, and Jenrich was able to tag him out.
Well, good awareness there from the Gameday Angels. It's tough to pick a guy off at really any base, no matter where they're at on the field. That's not a common occurrence you see in baseball, so props to the Gameday Angels for picking him off there.
So now the pitcher can focus on the batter. It's an 0-1 count to Rainer Bean, and the curveball gets into the zone for strike 2. And a swing and a miss there by Rainer Bean, and that will retire the side. But the Larks have taken their first lead of tonight's game. After being down 3-0, they get 3 runs in the bottom of the 2nd. from Tanner Norman, Cooper Holtorf, and Tabor Stokes. And we'll get back to the top of the Angels order for the top of the third. The Larks leave the bases empty after getting 3 runs on 2 hits in the bottom of the second inning, and they have their first lead at 5-3. Matthew Shipley, the leadoff batter, leads things off in the inning. Still facing the Larks starter, that is number 21, Max Hendricks. And the first pitch of the inning is a ball. Shipley had a pop out in the first inning. That one went to Tabor Stokes, and it was on the very first pitch of the game. He's now ahead 2-0 in his second plate appearance. Next pitch from Hendricks is too low for ball 3. Shipley's followed by number 5, Dylan Volts, and number 25, James Harbison. And the sophomore from Highlands Ranch awaits the pitch. And that one gets in the zone for strike number 1. So Shipley has a chance to walk right here. He did that once last night along with a single, and this one's hit in between Russell and Stokes for a base hit. So that'll bring up number 5, Dylan Volts, the first run to score for the Angels tonight. Walked on 4 straight balls and was brought home on an RBI single from David Brab.
I think what's kept the Gameday Angels in this game has really been their plate discipline. It's really been impressive to see the pitches that they do hold off on that end up being balls. There's some of those that are really close to the zone that would be really difficult to hold off on.
0-1 the count to Dylan Volts. The on-base percentage leader awaiting the pitch. This one's a changeup that gets in the zone. This one's thrown down to second, and it is not in time. Tabor Stokes cannot believe that the field umpire, Randy Jordan, called that one safe, but the count is 0-2 to Dylan Volts, and he has a runner at second. So Hendricks will now focus on the batter in search of his second strikeout of the night and 10th of the season. He takes a look back at second where Shipley's taking a very big lead. That one just misses the zone for the first ball. Hendricks continuing to look back at second base. The pitch goes to the plate, and the curveball just misses again. That's going to be ball 2. He's trying to catch Volts swinging when he puts it in the low part of the zone. And now there's 2 balls after he got ahead 0-2. A hard ground ball this time over to the second baseman, Rainer Bean, and this one will roll into the outfield and bring home another run for the Angels. And they make it a 1-run game at 5-4, and that will be listed as another error for the Larks.
Uncharacteristic of this Larks defense. We've seen time and time again them make big-time, impressive plays, and it seems like tonight they're kind of out of their rhythm.
After the E4, number 25, James Harbison comes up to bat. He got out at second in the first inning after reaching on a fielder's choice / error. He starts with an 0-1 count. Hendricks delivers the pitch to Wilson, and this one's hit high in the air, deep into left field. Holtorf will run back for this one at the wall, stopping in front of the Alman Company advertisement, and that's the catch for out number 2.
That was a very high arcing ball, and had it not been slightly breezy here this evening, I wonder if that one might have had a chance to get out of the ballpark. The trajectory on that ball was pretty high in the air. I think it really might have had a chance.
With 2 outs, with 1 out, that brings up Tyler Genrich. He'll be followed by David Brabb and Kyle Hubert, and his first pitch is a fly ball going into the right center gap, and Sean Keenan is there for the second out. Back-to-back flyouts for the Larks will bring up David Brabb with a runner at first base. Brabb recorded that RBI single for the first run. He was also the 3rd run of the game. Now works with Dylan Volz at first base, who reached on an E4 and also brought home Matthew Shipley. Tanner Norman covers the bag. And the pitch goes to the plate, and this one's going to bounce away from Brand Wilson and give Volz plenty of time to take second. 1-0 count to the DH. And now Keith Harper will make his way out to the mound for a meeting with Max Hendricks. No one's currently warming up in the Larks bullpen, so this will just be a quick meeting as he's putting his hands on both the catcher's shoulders, Brand Wilson and Max Hendricks. And we'll wait for the action to return. Again, the runner at second base is Dylan Volz. They've had 1 run scored this inning from Matthew Shipley, who singled and then stole second. And that E4 for Dylan Volz was what brought him home. I think the home plate umpire had to go to the mound to make sure that Keith Harper wasn't taking too long. They both shook hands, I think, and now they're back to their respective spots.
It was a bro hug. That's what it was.
I couldn't think of what to call it.
Yeah, I'd characterize that as a bro hug. Not that I'm a professional or a expert on the topic, but I think from my perspective up here in the press box, I think I'd rule that a bro hug on the field.
A curveball gives David Brabb a 2-0 count. He's in search now of his 4th multi-hit game after that single in the first inning. Next pitch misses the zone for ball 3. And Brabb will step out of the box to collect himself for a second. Hendricks comes set. And he kicks and deals. And a line drive going into center field. Flowers runs up on it. He makes a diving play, and this one dropped and now rolls away from him. Very close, just couldn't get the grab, and now we have a tie ball game. Dylan Volt scores all the way from second base to tie the game up, and that brings up number 30, Kyle Hubert, as David Brabb has his 4th multi-hit game of the season. And after recording that hit single in the first inning, that was his first hit since June 5th. For Kyle Hubert, he had that 2 RBI double back in the first inning. Tried advancing to third, but got out. And now the count is 0-1. Hubert went 2 for 3 yesterday with 2 singles. And now leaves that one on the inside for the first ball. Norman still covering first as Brabb takes a lead. He's not getting too far off the bag. This one's fouled off, and it moves the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looking at David Brabb in this young season with the Gameday Angels, he has not tried to steal yet. So that would explain why he's standing close to the bag. It's an Angels team that came in with 17 attempted steals and successful on 14 of them. Now Hendricks just needs 1 more strike to end the inning, and it's a pop-up. Norman runs after it, and this one will land out of play. Freshman from Woodlands, Texas, awaits the pitch now. So far in 22 at-bats coming into tonight's game, he has a team-high 364 average, and he's going to get on base as this one hits him on the back. That advances David Brabb to second, and Hubert's on for the second time tonight as the 7th batter in the order, Peyton Mitchell, steps up to the plate next. Mitchell flew out to center field in the second inning. That was on a full count. He was the first out of that second inning where the Larks were able to go 3 up, 3 down against the Angels. And this time he hits this one deep into left field, and Holtorf will have to run back to the wall for this one, and he will make the catch with his back right up against it for the final out. The Angels respond with 2 runs of their own that inning, and they have tied the game back up at 5 apiece. And the Larks will go to the middle part of their order when we come back. Angels have tied the game up thanks to 2 hits on 2 runs. The Larks committed 1 error in the top of the 3rd inning, and 2 runners were left stranded. Now Sean Keenan will lead things off in the bottom of the 3rd, still facing off against the relief pitcher Nick Mo Oaks. Cosme Vera Jr. made the start and only pitched 1 complete inning. And Cosme Vera Jr. faced 3 batters in the 2nd before they made the change. This one's hit it deep into left center field. Shipley's going to be the one that gets there and gets the catch for out number 1. Next batter is number 15, Hutch Russell, the new face, not just in the lineup, but also in Hayes. He had a 2 RBI double back in the 1st inning that scored Max Flowers and Sean Keenan. We'll see what he does this time around.
Made a good impact his first at bat. We'll see if he can build on that. I was very impressed with his ability to hit in a clutch situation the way that he did. He's essentially a big reason why the Larks are still in this contest here.
Russell leaves that first pitch upstairs for ball 1. I mentioned he just wrapped up his sophomore season at Seminole State Community College, a team that competed in the JUCO World Series. Next pitch goes down the middle, and now it's a 1-1 count. Russell played in 61 games, getting a .410 average, 89 hits, and 77 runs. He lets the next pitch go by for ball 2. We mentioned in the 1st inning that Russell is the younger brother of former Hayes Lark Houston Russell. This is not the first time, though, that we've seen Hutch Russell in a Larks game. He's part of that group of new Larks that played for the Oklahoma MVP at the NBC World Series. And now the count's 2-2 as he fouls that one off.
And I wonder how many Larks players are like second-generation Larks. I would love to know. I'm sure we'd have to do some really serious deep digging for that. But I wonder. I just wonder how many there's been ever. There can't be that many. I'm sure there's some, but there can't be that many.
There's 2 on this year's team. So you got Hutch Russell related to Houston Russell, and then Dylan LaRue is related to Tyler LaRue. Full count now to Hutch Russell with 1 out. Nick Mo Oaks sends the payoff pitch to the plate, and this one's a line drive that will make its way all the way to the Larks batting cages. Had a lot of power on that one, and now Russell awaits the 7th pitch of the current at-bat.
He about landed it on top of the Larks batting cage over there. Just kind of bounced off the top netting and dribbled right behind it. Keeps battling.
Mo Oaks' next pitch is fouled off once again. Russell able to stay alive. Russell's the 5th batter that Nick Mo Oaks is facing. Has yet to give up a hit against the Larks. The Larks have scored on a sacrifice fly, and he's also walked 1 other batter. And the payoff pitch is a line drive headed towards the batting cage once again. That's 3 straight foul balls now for Hutch Russell after starting with a full count.
I think he's aiming for the cars over there out in the neighborhood. They were getting pretty dangerously close over there.
It's one of the farthest places you can park, but we call it the parking lot of doom for a reason. You're not safe anywhere if you're parking near Larks Park. And it's a swing and a miss there for Hutch Russell for out number 2. Started making his way down to first base, thinking it could potentially be a drop 3rd strike, but that's the 2nd strikeout of the game for Nick Mo Oaks. And now Brandon Wilson will try to keep the inning alive.
Nice pitch location there for Nick Mo Oaks. He was able to kind of get him up and in and get him to bite on that pitch that was really jamming him up. Even if he would have made contact on that pitch, there's a very low chance that would have even gone into play, and if it was, it would have been really weak contact.
Brandon Wilson awaits the first pitch, and he hits this one high in the air, deep into left field. Shipley will run back for this one, and he goes to the wall, and this one is gone. With a new bat, Brandon Wilson sends it over the left field fence and gives the Larks a 6-5 lead.
Well, how about that? Some new bat magic for Brand Wilson. Splintered that bat in the first inning, and this time goes yard. A solo shot with no doubt. That thing was in the tree out there, out in left center field. What a knock for him.
13 home runs now on the year for the Larks. As you saw there, Brand Wilson put on the cardboard cowboy hat and rode the stick pony into the dugout. I think that's what that's called, right?
I don't know. I think so. I think that's the term. I don't know if there's a specific term for that. I don't know. It's a good question.
I stopped playing with those when I was 5 years old. So
yeah, I was in the same boat.
Next batter is Tanner Norman, who starts with a ball.
I'm not that old, but it's been a while. It's been a while.
Oaks' next pitch goes to the plate on the 1-0 count, and that one's left upstairs. Tanner Norman is ahead 2-0. He walked in the prior inning and scored the third run of the game for the Larks. This time he'll go to the inside part of the plate, and Mo Oaks is behind 3-0 against Tanner Norman. So the Western Kentucky commit awaits the pitch. Oaks kicks and deals, and that one will get in the zone for the first strike.
It's back to that keyholing again. No sense to swing at a pitch like that if you're up 3-0 in the count. Was able to reach on a base on balls his first time up. He's probably looking for that here again. No sense in wasting a at-bat if you can get on base for free.
And after being down 3-0, Nick Mo Oaks has fought back to a full count against Tanner Norman, the second full count of this inning. First one was Hutch Russell, who faced 9 pitches and got out swinging. And the payoff pitch is on the way, and this one's going to be a line drive. Feels like every Lark is fouling it off in similar spots. I believe right-handed batters go off to the left side, kind of just barely getting it over the net, and then left-handed batters are sending it into the street next to us.
I feel like it's a common occurrence most nights. Whenever Larks batters foul pitches off, they usually foul them off in the same direction. It's really interesting how it works that way.
And Tanner Norman will head down to first base as he left that one on the outside part of the plate. He walks for the second time tonight. That brings up number 1 Cooper Holtorf, the left fielder. He had the RBI triple that brought Tanner Norman home, so we'll see what he works with here as Norman's at first base again. Holtorf begins with a 1-0 count. Kind of seeing maybe some deja vu if Cooper Holtorf can put this one in play. Tanner Norman walked, and then in the last time they were up, it was a 1-0 count. And this one, guess what? It goes in play. This one will fly out to right field to Harbison, and he's got the catch for the final out. But the Larks have retaken the lead at 6-5 thanks to a solo home run from Brand Wilson with 2 outs. Top of the 4th is up next, where Logan Sullivan will lead things off for the Gameday Angels.
We welcome you back to Larks Park. It's the top of the fourth inning, and the Gameday Angels are back up to the plate. Logan Sullivan, the catcher, will lead things off for the Angels. The 8-hole hitter starts the count 1-0. Larks lead it by just a run. They lead it 6-5 here in the top of the fourth. Max Hendricks remains on the hill for the hometown team. 2 balls and no strikes to the catcher, Sullivan. Hendricks deals. That one's well inside. Sullivan had to jump out of the way to keep that one from nailing him in the hip. Now 3 balls and no strikes to the catcher, Sullivan. Sullivan went down swinging his last time up. Now the 3-0 is right down the pipe for strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike to the catcher, Sullivan. The pitch. That one's chopped to the second baseman, Bean. The throw over to first base is an underhand throw, and Norman squeezes the ball closed for out number 1.
And we've seen some Larks second basemen do that so far in this young season, where they'll play near the grass against left-handed batters and then run up on the ball to get the out.
That'll bring up the third baseman wearing number 2 for the Gameday Angels, Tyler Tiedemann. Flew out to third base his last time up. He'll chop that one down the third base line. It has a lot of carom on that ball as it rolls all the way almost to the Larks dugout. Wilson was all over it if it would have stayed fair. Tiedemann will start the count 0-1 with that foul ball there. Gameday Angels wearing more of a cream-colored uniform today with that powder blue accent color, similar to those powder blue uniforms they had on last night. As the 0-1 is down and away for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch from Hendricks. That one misses down and over the outer half of the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hendrick kicks, deals. That one's drilled out to left field. Right underneath it is Holtorf, who makes the catch for out number 2. And initially off the bat, that thing looked like it may have just had no chance of staying in the ballpark, but something in the air made it hang up in the air out there and kept it inside the ballpark, but still good contact there from the third baseman, Tyler Tiedemann. That'll bring us back to the top of the order for the Angels. Matthew Shipley takes the first pitch for a strike. He is 1 for 2 on the evening. Flew out in his first at-bat and reached on a single in his second at-bat. The 0-1. That one's ripped down the third base line. A diving attempt from Russell was not successful. And so Matthew Shipley will have his second single of the night. So now the Angels have the the tying run on first base and the go-ahead run at the plate now, with 2 down here in the top of the 4th inning. That brings up the second baseman, the 2-hole hitter wearing number 5, Dylan Voles. Swing at the first pitch is fouled away down the first base line into the Gameday Angels dugout. Starts the count 0-1. Larks wearing their red tops with white pants. The text Larks in white across the chest. As that pitch got away from the mitt of Brand Wilson behind the plate, allowing the runner from first, Matthew Shipley, to advance over to second. One ball and 1 strike now to the second baseman, Voles. Hendrick deals the 1-1. That one's also down and in. Hendricks struggling a little bit with his command here. in this particular at-bat.
Well, he's going low a majority of the time, and he's just mixing around different parts of the plate to try to get them swinging.
2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch. That one just paints the inner half of the strike zone. I think that's what he's been trying to do this entire at-bat. Finally able to convert on it there. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the second baseman, Vols. Hendricks comes set. Looks back to second. Deals the 2-2. That one misses low and inside for ball 3. A full count now to the second baseman, Vols. Hendricks comes set. Looks back to second. Kicks and deals. Over the outer half of the plate, strike 3. Hendricks lets 1 base runner on, but will strand him at second as he puts up a goose egg in the top of the 4th inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th when we come back on the Larks Network. We welcome you back to Larks Park. It's the bottom of the 4th inning. The Larks up to bat now. Leading things off, wearing number 6 for the Larks this evening, Tabor Stokes, the shortstop, as he will send that one deep into left center field. It'll hit right below the wall. It'll bounce just at the warning track. Tabor Stokes rounds second. He's going for third. They'll hold him there. Tabor Stokes has got a leadoff triple.
For a second there, I thought that one was gone. The launch angle on it and going into that similar spot that we saw the first home run. But either way, a great hit there by Tabor Stokes, getting the Larks' second triple of the night.
I totally lost the ball off the bat. It went into the sky, and I lost it. I mean, that thing went up pretty high, and it just kind of bounced right at the base of the wall. That thing could not have gone any deeper than it did without being a home run. So it's a leadoff triple for Tabor Stokes. A runner on third, nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th, in the top of the order for the Larks. And Braden Hebner, the designated hitter, up to the plate. He starts the count 0-1. The pitch. Little dribbler down the left field line, and the throw across the diamond drops out of the hand, or the mid rather, I should say, of the first baseman, Ginrich. Mitchlig made a good throw from shortstop, and the first baseman, Ginrich, couldn't squeeze the mitt tight enough to prevent Braden Hebner from reaching first. So he'll reach on an E3. He'll still have the RBI. Tabor Stokes crosses home plate for the Larks' 7th run of the evening. They're now leading 7-5. The Larks now have a runner on first with nobody out. That brings up the center fielder, Max Flowers. Wearing number 5 for the Larks. He takes the 0-1 right up the pipe for strike 1, rather. Scoreboard hadn't quite caught up yet. No balls and 1 strike. Throw back over to first base. Easy slide for Hebner back into the bag.
Larks already have a couple steals tonight, so they're trying to get that runner out, and they've been successful once, but that's what they have to do playing from behind.
The 0-1 is hit straight to the shortstop, Mitchell. The throw to second. Can they turn 2? They cannot. So Max Flowers will reach on a fielder's choice. And the Larks have their first out of the inning as Braden Hebner is thrown out at second base. That'll bring up the second baseman, Rainer Bean. So far 0 for 2 in tonight's contest, looking to improve on that here. First pitch to Bean. Paints the outer half of the plate for strike 1. The 0-1 pitch. That one's fouled out of play into the neighborhood just behind Larks Park. Has been a very popular spot for foul balls tonight. Mo Oaks comes set. Throws back across the first base. Hebner slides in safely head first. No balls and 2 strikes to the second baseman, Bean. Flew out to left field in his first at bat and struck out swinging in his last at bat. He'll drill that one out into shallow right field. It'll be down for a base hit. Hebner rounds second. He's on his high horse, and he'll get over to third base, standing up. And the Larks now have runners on the corners with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
Rainer Bean got the swing sign, and Max Flowers got the steal sign. You saw him taking off before the ball even got to Bean's bat, and now the Larks have runners at both corners.
The beauty of a hit and run is that it allows you to advance that lead runner just a little bit further. As that'll bring up the right fielder, Sean Keenan now. That one's lined right up the middle. It's fielded by the second baseman. The glove flip over to second base is there, and the throw to first is in time. Wow, what a double play for the Gameday Angels. And what surely seemed like would be at least 1 run driven in on that play turns into an incredible highlight double play. So the Larks will only score 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. They lead it 7-5 going into the top of the 5th. It's the top of the fifth here at Larks Park. Leading things off for the Game Day Angels, James Harbison. The right fielder was the starting pitcher in last night's contest against the Larks, and now playing in the outfield here in this one as he'll drill the first pitch out into right center field, and that one is off the Pizza Hut sign, out in right field wall. The cutoff man just in front of second base, and it's a leadoff double on the first pitch of the at-bat for James Harbison.
Had great contact on it and a lot of power as well. And we're continuing to see the Angels show a lot of plate discipline as they record another hit. That's now their sixth of the game.
So the leadoff man is on for the Game Day Angels. They've got a runner on second with nobody out. And the tying run at the plate. Tyler Genrich will take the first pitch for a ball as he stands in the right-handed batter's box. Hendricks comes set. Righty v righty matchup here, the 1-0. Curveball missing outside. 2 balls and no strikes. And now the outfield umpire will call time. I don't know if looks like they're switching some balls out or something. The home plate umpire must have noticed something about that ball that he didn't like, whether the skin on it was starting to come off or what. But whatever it was, he didn't like it, so they had him throw it over to the dugout, and it looks like that ball might be retired. 2 balls and no strikes. That one's down and in. 3 balls and no strikes out of the first baseman, Tyler Genrich. And now pitching coach Keith Harper will walk out to the mound. The entire infield will come in, and we might be seeing a pitching change here for the Larks. If not now, then soon. And it looks like now is the time as a Lark starts to trot out from the bullpen. We will step aside here for just a moment. When we come back, it's a new pitcher on the hill. Well, it's a new pitcher on the hill for the Larks. Trent Baker takes to the mound after 4 innings of work from the starting pitcher, Max Hendricks. And now Baker will come out to pitch here out of the bullpen. And usually if he's not in the starting lineup, you know that means there's a chance that he's going to pitch that night, as Baker's usually a pretty constant player that you'll see in the Larks lineup. As the final pitch of the at-bat to Ginrich, missing outside for ball 4. It's a base on balls. Technically, I think credited to Baker there in that situation, even though he inherited that 3-0 count. But now the Gameday Angels have runners on first and second with nobody out. The go-ahead run now at the plate. Baker has certainly got his work cut out for him. The first pitch to the designated hitter, Brab Jr., is way up and in. Had to duck out of the way to make sure he didn't get nailed by that pitch. As Baker looks to try and hone in on his control here. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch. That one just paints the outer half of the plate. A beautiful pitch there from Baker. 1 ball and 1 strike. I think that first pitch really straightened Brab up, because he is certainly not as relaxed as he was when he got up to the plate to begin the at-bat. Signals for bunt. Fielded nicely by Baker. The throw over to third base is in time. Beautiful reactions from Trent Baker, and that is the benefit of having a position player on the mound like Trent Baker. He can really do it all.
He's got a very good baseball IQ, and he's been in Hayes for 4 years, so he knows what this team's style is, and a good play there to get the lead runner out.
So runners will remain at first and second, and the Larks have picked up 1 out in the process. Trent Baker playing damage control here in the top of the 5th. That'll bring up the center fielder, Kyle Hubert, rather. He swings and misses the first pitch. No balls and a strike. Hubert had a 2 RBI double his first time up in the top of the first inning. Baker deals the 0-1, gets him to bite on it. A slider down and away. It was very convincing. Got Hubert to chase at that pitch, and now it's an 0-2 count to the center fielder. Baker comes set, looks back to second base. Now deals the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He blew that fastball right past him. And that's 2 straight outs there for Trent Baker, one of which being his first strikeout of the outing. Baker seems like this is kind of the spark and the energy that this team needed to really get it going here on defense.
Well, he's already made a few appearances this season, and he did a good job reading Hubert there, getting him down 0-2 and then making him swing on a high pitch.
And another swing and a miss. That is 4 straight swings and misses from Gameday Angel batters across the last 2 at-bats. Now it's Peyton Mitchlig standing in the left-handed batter's box, the shortstop for the Angels. He lays off that pitch. It's a 1 ball and 1 strike to the shortstop. Mitchlig 0 for 2 on the evening. Flew out in both of his at-bats. The 1-1 from Baker. That one missing upstairs for ball 2. 2 down and runners on first and second. Larks lead at 7-5 here in the top of the 5th. Baker looks back to second. Comes set, deals the 2-1. That one misses upstairs as well. Now it's 3 balls and 1 strike. If he walks Mitchlig, the bases will be loaded. Baker looks home for the pitch call. Comes set. Now deals the 3-1. Oh, a beautiful pitch over the outer half of the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's a full count now between the shortstop Mitchlig and Trent Baker. Baker comes in. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him on the pitch inside. The slider down and in on the lefty was very effective on that pitch. Trent Baker gets out of the jam for the Larks, and they put up another goose egg in the top of the 5th inning. Larks still lead at 7-5 and going into the bottom of the 5th. Well, it's the bottom of the 5th inning here in Hays, Kansas. The Larks have a 2-run lead over the Gameday Angels. They have yet to post a scoreless inning on the offensive side of things. It's been a productive night at the plate for the Larks. Now, defensively, it's certainly been a little bit out of character for the Larks as they have obviously let up 5 runs so far here in this contest. Leading things off for the Larks here in the bottom of the 5th, Hutch Russell, the third baseman, 1 for 2 in his inaugural appearance as a Hays Lark. Had a 2 RBI double his first time up in the 1st inning. As he drills that one out into right field, backing up on it is the right fielder, Harbison, and he makes the catch on the warning track. And I feel like it's pretty evident already that kind of power that Hutch Russell has and that he can bring to the table for this Larks team. So I'm pretty excited to see what he can continue to do for this Larks team as he gets more comfortable in the role that he is asked to do for this Larks squad.
I mean, he had a .673 slugging percentage in his sophomore year at Seminole State, and he's a Division I commit as well. So it's clear that he has a lot of talents with his bat.
Brand Wilson up to the plate now for the Larks. He starts the count 0-1 on a foul ball. The 0-1 slider is not swung on by Tanner Norman, and it was too far away from the plate for it to be called a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to the first baseman, Tanner Norman. That one's hit to the shortstop, Mitchlig. The throw across the diamond is high, and the first baseman, Ginrich, was able to recover it and put the tag back on Wilson, but he's lucky that he was able to do that. Just because of the way that he caught that ball, the only reason he was able to even apply that tag was because he jumped to grab that ball that was up in the air. If he wouldn't have jumped, that ball would have gone straight over his mitt, and that would have been a free base for Brand Wilson, maybe even an extra base.
That was crisis averted, and also the ball was going to the inside part of first base from where Mitchlig was throwing it. So very, very lucky spot, you could say, for him to make that tag.
Crisis averted is absolutely right, as now the 7-hole hitter for the Larks, Tanner Norman, the first baseman, steps in. As he skies that one into shallow left field, tracking it down as the shortstop, Mitchlig. He lays out for it and makes the grab. I don't even know how he did that. I don't know if he flipped the ball out of his mitt because his mitt fell off of his glove hand. And when he was laying on the ground, he held his bare hand up in the air with the baseball in his hand. So who knows? We don't have a very good vantage point from here, but it looks like head coach Frank Leo is now trying to plead his case, saying, hey, he didn't catch that ball.
I just don't think there's any way that you can overturn that.
And I think you're right, and it's difficult to overturn a call that's already been made, especially at this level where you don't have a replay system. I'm just baffled as to how he switched hands with that ball. I still want to know how he did that. I'm going to have to get to the bottom of this at some point. That'll do it for the bottom of the fifth inning. We'll be back here in just a moment with the top of the sixth. We welcome you back to Larks Park. It's a new pitcher on the hill for the Larks after a masterclass on the hill for Trent Baker, who really got the Larks out of a jam there in the top of the fifth inning. And now it's taking things over for the Larks is Justin Piñato, the left-hander out of El Monte, California. As the first pitch to the catcher, Logan Sullivan, is in there for a strike. The 0-1 misses low over the outer half of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. That one into the turf. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Tried to get ahead with 2 strikes there, going to the curveball on the outside part of the plate.
Piñato deals the 2-1. That one just above letter high on the catcher, Logan Sullivan. Just above that Angels text across his chest. The 3-1. That one finds its way in the zone, and the catcher, Logan Sullivan, was walking off like it was ball 4, and the home plate umpire had other plans for this at-bat. The payoff pitch for Piñato. Got got him on the outer half of the plate. A great pitch for Justin Piñato. He'll get his first strikeout of the evening. And now the 9-hole hitter, Tyler Tiedemann, the third baseman, will step in. The first pitch from the left-hander right over the outer half of the plate for strike one. Piñato sets, deals. The 0-1 is fouled away into the parking lot of doom by the third baseman, Tyler Tiedemann. Tiedemann now well behind in the count, 0-2. Tiedemann, the 9-hole hitter for the Gameday Angels, 0 for 2 in the contest. He's flown out twice. The 0-2 pitch. Up in the zone, got Tiedemann to chase it, and another foul ball is driven into the parking lot of doom. No balls and 2 strikes. Piñato deals. That one's high and away for ball 1. Piñato pitching out of the full windup. Holds his black mitt just over his face. Turns and deals the 1-2. The curveball up in the zone is fouled away behind the plate, and that one kind of had a really late break to it. It almost, not quite a knuckleball, but I would characterize it as a ball that knuckled almost at the very end. That was a really nasty curveball that just almost dropped into the zone. The 1-2 is well inside on the third baseman, Tiedemann. Tiedemann takes a practice swing, adjusts his batting gloves, and steps back in the right-handed batter's box. Piñato turns on the rubber. The 2-2 is chopped to the shortstop, Stokes. The throw over to first is in time. 2 down now for the Larks here in the top of the 6th inning. That'll bring up the top of the order for the Gameday Angels. Matthew Shipley, the left fielder, up to the plate. Piñato's curveball just breaking right across the plate. A beautiful pitch there from him. His curveball is just nasty. It's got so much break on it.
I'm still surprised how much curve that one had on it. It looked like almost, I don't know if you've seen, like, I'll use this as an example, Looney Tunes episodes where they play baseball. It looked like it had almost that type of curve on it.
I mean, it really did. It had just an extreme amount of break on that pitch. He's got a lot of break on his pitch. He doesn't have a ton of velocity on that curveball, but it's just got so much break that it's hard to read. The 1-1. That one's popped up and out of play. Fouled back into the parking lot of doom once again. I'm sure there have been a lot of victims, a lot of car victims this evening with as many balls as been drilled out into that parking lot. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the left fielder, Matthew Shipley. Piñato deals. That one's over the outer half of the plate. It's popped up into shallow right field. Tracking it down, the second baseman, Bean. Keenan calls him off, makes the grab. 3 up, 3 down for the Larks, and another goose egg. That's the 3rd straight scoreless inning the Larks have posted on defense. They'll look to put some more runs on the board here in the bottom of the 6th. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Larks Network. We welcome you back to Larks Park. Leading things off the Larks here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Cooper Holtorf, the left fielder. As he will hit that one deep into center field. Getting underneath it is the center fielder, Kyle Hubert. He makes the grab on the first pitch of the at-bat. That one was pretty well struck, and Holtorf has the power to go yard. We've seen it before, but that time, no cigar for the left fielder.
Well, he's made that outfield work tonight. That's now 2 flyouts for him, and he had that triple back in the 2nd inning that rolled all the way back to that 405 mark in center field and resulted in an RBI triple.
That'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Tabor Stokes, the shortstop for the Larks. First pitch to him is fouled back into the netting. Mo Oaks goes ahead in the count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike, the pitch. Slider down and away for ball 1. Mo Oaks was able to achieve the first scoreless inning the Larks have posted offensively this game in the bottom of the 5th, as the 1-1 pitch was in the turf for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to the shortstop, Stokes. Stokes twirls his black wooden bat through the zone. Now the 2-1. That one's drilled into center field. High in the air, back to the wall. At the warning track, he makes the catch. Back-to-back balls hit straight into center field. It looked like they had a chance to go the distance, and instead they fall just short.
There was a lot of power on that one, and that got very close to the wall, but that's just so far out there in center field. Like, you look at the corners for Larks Park, 322 in left field, 319 in right field. That's over an 80-foot difference.
The corners of this ballpark certainly favor the hitters. The dead center is the polar opposite of that, as Braden Hebner skies that one into shallow right. There to make the grab is Harbison, I guess I should say, rather. And it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Larks in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the top of the 7th when we come back on the Larks Network.
Back here at Larks Park for the start of the top of the 7th inning, as the Angels get their 2, 3, 4 batters up to the plate to face off against number 22, Justin Pinardo, the freshman reliever for Trent Baker, who pitched 1 full inning for Max Hendricks. And he goes to the curveball on the first pitch, and that one is outside for ball 1. Dylan Volz has been responsible for 2 of the Angels' 5 runs tonight. He's walked, and then the other time he reached base was through an error that also scored another run. Next pitch is inside. And Volts is ahead with 2 balls in the count. He will be followed by James Harbison and Tyler Genrich. And Piñardo sends this one down the middle, and it's fouled out of play into the street next to us to make the count 2-1. Brand Wilson, the catcher, centers his glove. Piñardo goes to the curveball and drops it right into the zone for strike 2.
Piñado's had really good control over his arsenal tonight, and I've been really impressed with his performance on the mound, even in just the 1 inning we've seen him.
He'll go inside on that next pitch, and it's a full count now to Dylan Volts. The second time he's been dealt one. The first one was back in the 4th inning where he struck out looking. That one was against Max Hendricks. Payoff pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that's going to be popped up into the night sky, or to the evening sky, I should say. It will go out of play and keep the count full. Piñardo kicks and deals, going to the curveball, and it's a swing and a miss. It went high, then dropped down low, and Dylan Volts strikes out for the 2nd time tonight.
That curveball is nasty. That is his bread and butter, and man, that thing is hard to read. There are not a lot of hitters out there that can hit curveballs super well. Like they're hittable pitches, but you have to know it's coming to be able to put a barrel on it, and they have to be in the right spot to put a barrel on it. A pitch like that, there's no way you're touching that pitch. That's a beautiful pitch location there from Piñardo.
A strike in the count to begin for number 25, James Harbison. He recorded his first hit of the night in his last appearance. That was back in the 5th inning where he got the double and then tried advancing to third but got out on a fielder's choice where he was the lead runner and Trent Baker got him out. He's now down 0-2 after rolling the next pitch foul. Piñardo already has 2 strikeouts in the game. Had 3 combined in his prior 2 appearances where he pitched 4 innings. And Brand Wilson wants this one right down the middle, and he gets it a little bit higher, but it doesn't matter. It's a swing and a miss for back-to-back strikeouts, and there's now 2 away.
Piñardo is just pitching with so much conviction on the hill right now. It is just so fun to watch. He is out there with so much confidence, and he doesn't look arrogant or cocky doing it. He's very poised out there on the mound, and it's just so entertaining to watch.
Tyler Genrich will now try to keep the inning alive. This one will roll foul, just barely getting behind the third base bag. Hutch Russell was running after it. No ball and 1 strike to begin the count.
And what he did right there is he sat back on that pitch, knowing it was going to be an off-speed pitch. He waited a little bit longer to go ahead and take a hack at it. It almost played into his benefit, but he couldn't quite get it to break through through the infield.
Piñardo goes to the outside part of the plate and gets it in the zone for strike 2. Genrich, the top batter for this Angels team, still in search of his first hit of this series. After going 0 for 3 yesterday, so far tonight he is 0 for 1. Reached on a fielder's choice, and he's also walked. Now he's down 0-2. Piñardo sends the ball to the plate, and he was going to that same spot. He started walking towards the dugout, just a little bit outside for the first ball.
I think Keith Harper might have thought that was a strike over there too, over by the dugout. He had his hands on his hips, and when he saw that pitch come across the plate, he just kind of was like, "Oh man, that looked really close."
Slider bounces on the plate for ball number 2 now for Piñardo against Tyler Genrich. He came into the series with a team-high 9 hits in 7 games. This is his 8th with the team. The pitch is on the way, and it's another one that bounces and rolls away from Brand Wilson. And Genrich has fought his way back up to a full count. So another payoff pitch awaits for the Gameday Angels. Pinaro looking for 3 straight strikeouts, and that one is too low. And it's ball 4 now for Tyler Jenrich as he walks for the second time tonight.
Obviously, Pinado really wanted that strikeout there on that count, but he can't hang his head too much. He only let up 1 runner on the base paths, and he's pitched really well up to this point in this inning. So he just needs to shake that one off and focus on the next batter at the plate.
The Angels trying to start a 2-out rally here. They'll go to number 6, David Brab. He has 2 base hits tonight after going 0 for 4 yesterday. He reached base in the 5th inning on a fielder's choice, so he's perfect in his on-base percentage for tonight's game. Pinaro's pitch to him is going to be a ground ball going foul past the Angels' third base coach for strike number 1. Tanner Norman is covering that first base bag. Tyler Jenrich is taking a very short lead. But Pinaro's going to, oh, nope, he's going to throw it back to first base. I thought he was just going to focus on the batter. But when you're a left-handed pitcher, you can do that over at first base, bring your leg up, and then throw it back. Pinaro nods his head, delivers the pitch. Still going to that outside part of the plate. He misses the zone, evening the count up at 1-1. Swing and a miss there, as they're going to say that that's a foul ball there by David Brab. It got away from Bran Wilson. And tonight's, excuse me, some new balls were brought into the umpire.
I think Brab's lucky he got a piece of that pitch. I mean, that thing really had a lot of break to it. It came across the plate like a lot of his other curveballs have, but this one was really down and in on him.
1-2, and that one's left upstairs. Brab had to dodge the upper half of his body out of the way to avoid getting hit.
Pitch will straighten him up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him go down and away now.
Pinaro will throw this one back to first base. Jenrich is back in plenty of time. Pinaro just needs 1 more strike to get his 4th of the night. He delivers, and this one's popped up. Tanner Norman running after it in foul territory, and he makes the catch in the dirt for the final out. Pinaro started the inning with 2 strikeouts. Tyler Jenrich walks, and he is left at first as the Larks still hold on to that 7-5 lead. We'll be back in a moment for the bottom half of the inning, where Max Flowers will lead things off, followed by Rainer Bean and Sean Keenan. Bottom of the 7th inning, Larks 7, Angels 5. Max Flowers leading things off against the reliever Nick Mo Oaks, still in the game. He came in at the start of the 2nd inning and has pitched ever since. Against the Larks, he has only given up three runs and also only 3 hits. Flowers will hit a ground ball over to the first baseman, Jenrich. Underhand toss to Mo Oaks, and they will say he didn't make the tag in time. Very close play, but Max Flowers is safe. And on 4 plate appearances, he is safe on all 4.
Not sure if he did or not, but it kind of sounded like he broke his bat maybe on that play. If he didn't break it, maybe splintered it or something, because it really sounded like he hit it weird and something happened with the bat. It really sounded like it did anyways, but hard to tell.
I think they're going to list that one as an infield single, so Flowers is at first, and that brings up Rainer Bean. We'll see if the Angels, if they decide to keep Nick Mo Oaks in for the remainder of this game, if he can keep those zeros across the inning parts of the scoreboard. Right now, they got a couple guys in their bullpen. Throw back to first base, and Flowers is safe. One of the batters from yesterday, Cliff Goldie, it looks like he's in there in their right field bullpen. 2 other arms are in there as well. On the 1-0 count, Rainer Bean will leave that one on the inside part of the plate for ball 2. Oaks taking his time. The pitch is on the way. Fly ball going into foul territory. And there's strike 1 to Rainer Bean. Flowers continuing to take a short lead over at first base. He's got 2 steals, and now a throw back to first base, and he's back again. The Angels are continuing to throw back to first because they've already got him once in the 2nd inning for the 2nd out of that inning. The pitch goes to the plate. Flowers takes off for second. And I don't know if the catcher was just not going to throw it down or if he didn't realize that Flowers took off for second. But it's the 3rd successful steal of the night for the center fielder. Three and 1 now to Bean. 1 for 3 on the night with a single. And the pitch goes to the plate. Just on the outside for ball 4, and Rainer Bean gives Larks 2 base runners for Sean Keenan to work with. Still no outs, and the Angels will not have a mound meeting. Sean Keenan makes his 4th plate appearance. He has a walk, a steal, and a run tonight. First pitch is upstairs to Keenan, starting the count off 1-0. He's only had 7 in his prior 3 appearances. He's only had 7 pitches thrown to him. Walked on 4 straight balls on a 1-0 count. He flew out to the left field and then put the ball in play in the 4th inning on the very first pitch. And he puts this one in play as well. As this one's popped up, the left fielder Shipley runs up on it, and it's a miscommunication. Mitchell was trying to reach over his shoulder to make the grab, and Flowers is now safe at 3rd.
That was a funky play, wasn't it? The Gameday Angels are actually really lucky that Mo Oaks was there to back up the 3rd baseman in Tiedemann, because Tiedemann didn't make the catch. It was fully Mo Oaks who backed up the throw, and had he not been there, that would have been a run scored easily for the Larks.
The bases are loaded, and that brings up number 15, Hutch Russell, who's already been responsible for 2 RBIs tonight. He's got 3 guys on the base path. It's Flowers at third, Bean at second, and Keenan at first. 1-0 the count to the Seminole State Spartan. Catcher centers his glove. The pitch goes to the plate. And this one's going to miss on the outside for ball 2. And now a meeting is going to happen for the Angels as their coach will emerge from the bullpen. That is their head coach, Mike Coons. And all the infielders will come in. Does not look like a change is going to be made, so they'll just have a quick meeting, trying to prevent the Larks from scoring any more runs.
Little surprised we're not seeing a call to the bullpen here, just purely because of the fact that they're still in this game. They're only down by 2 runs, and this game is still very in reach for this Angels team. I'm a little bit surprised they're not going ahead and pulling the pitcher here, especially because he's kind of gotten himself into a jam. But then again, we talked about it in yesterday's broadcast. Their bullpen doesn't run very deep, and so I would imagine the name of the game here in a series like this is preserve the arms of the bullpen.
2-0 count to Hutch Russell, still facing Nick Mo Oaks. Next pitch is on the way, and it's on the outside part of the plate again. Hutch Russell now has 3 balls in the count and no strikes. And I apologize, just a second ago I said that I called Hutch Russell a Spartan from Seminole State. I looked it up to confirm if I was right. They are the Trojans, so I apologize for that mistake there, but Hutch Russell will walk on 4 straight balls and bring home Max Flowers. It's the Larks' first run since the 4th inning, and now a change is going to be made on the mound, so we'll see who that is when we come back. With the bases loaded and no outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Angels will make their second call to the bullpen tonight. Nick Mo Oaks will come out after 5 full innings, and the new pitcher is the sophomore left-hander from UC Colorado Springs, Christian Clare. Half-hearted swing there by Brand Wilson. We'll start the count off 0-1. Christian Clare is now making his third relief appearance with the Angels. Has pitched in 1 2/3 innings. And had a 2-1 record this last season at UC Colorado Springs at the Division II level. Next pitch is a pop fly going out into right field. Harbison's going to get there, make the catch for the first out, and the throw to home is not going to be in time. So another run will score for the Larks. That's Rainer Bean, and they extend their lead to 9-5.
They'll take that every day of the week. You tack on some more insurance runs. They've got a 4-run lead now. All they need to do is stay the course here. You've got one out. See if you can drive in one more. Make this a 5-run ball game and really make it to the point where you've kind of shut the door on this Gameday Angels team and really put this game to rest.
Tanner Norman will now work with runners at the corners. That's Sean Keenan, who advanced to third off of that sacrificed fly, and Hutch Russell, who walked a moment ago. Norman will watch the first pitch go by for the first strike. Catcher wanted it on the outside. That's where it goes, and it's going to be called ball 1. Tanner Norman has put the ball in play once tonight. Other than that, he's walked twice and has also scored 1 run. The runner, Hutch Russell, will take off for second, and he will slide in safely. And that puts 2 runners in scoring position now for Norman to work with. Count is now 2-1. Next pitch goes low and outside, and Norman's now ahead with 3 balls and 1 strike in the count. Looking for the 3rd walk of the inning and his 3rd walk of the game. Clare is ready. He sends the pitch to the plate, and this one's fouled back into the net. And there is another full count for the Angels. Norman's still waiting for the payoff pitch. Clare's taking his time. Honestly, it feels like we're waiting forever for this pitch to be thrown. It finally goes to the plate, and this one's a deep line drive into center field. Hubert's running back for this one, and he will reach over his shoulder, can't make the grab. It bounces off the 405 number, and Tanner Norman has a double with 2 runs in, and now maybe another one. Sliding in safely is Hutch Russell. That was a 2 RBI double, scoring Sean Keenan and Hutch Russell and extending the lead to 11-5. And for the 6th time this season, the Larks surpassed the 10-run mark.
Yeah, and it seems like all these runs have just been kind of building up. You could feel them over the last couple innings. They were just ready to all snowball all at once, and it's exactly what's happened here. It really has just kind of all snowballed all at once, and this Larks team is looking in good form.
Cooper Holtorf now steps up to the plate after walking out to his song, Drift Away. Thought about swinging at that one, but he holds back just enough for ball 1. I mentioned when he made his last appearance, Eli was still doing play-by-play, that he's been making the outfield work tonight because of his RBI triple and 2 flyouts, 1 to right field and 1 to center field. Only 1 runner on for the Larks. That's Tanner Norman, who had the 2 RBI double. And this one will be fouled back by Holtorf and move the count to 1-1.
Just barely got underneath that pitch. He saw the ball well, timed it up pretty nicely, just couldn't make good contact with it from his barrel. If he would have barreled that ball, that thing would have been a line drive out to right center.
The left fielder is playing a little bit closer than the two other outfielders for the Angels. Holtorf's next pitch is on the way, and that one just able to catch the high part of the zone for strike two. Holtorf is followed by Tabor Stokes and then Braden Hebner. Those are the only two Larks batters that have not batted this inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and this one's going to be a fly ball going into the shallow outfield, and this one's going to drop down. It's going to be the right fielder that picks it up, and it's a single that advances Tanner Norman one base.
Well, a hit's a hit. Doesn't matter how you get on base. A hit is a hit. And whether it's a bloop single or a line drive out to right field, they all get you to the same place. And I don't think there'll be much complaining from him over there on first base, as still go down as a hit in the scoring column for him.
Tabor Stokes now up to bat. The way things are going, I think we're going to interview him along with the pitcher tonight. Stokes had an RBI single in his first appearance and then a triple in his second. And he scored 2 runs along with that. The runner at third is Tanner Norman. At first is Cooper Holtorf. Here's the pitch. And Stokes will leave that one high and outside, starting the count off 1-0. Still just 1 out. Larks have 4 runs in this inning. The runner will take off for second. And the Larks will send their runner from third home, and that's Tanner Norman who steals it. And the Larks extend their lead to 7.
I like this aggressive base running from the Larks right now. It's like you really don't have anything to lose at this point. It's so late into the game, you might as well try to increase that lead, give yourself some more insurance, and now they've built up a 7-run lead here in the bottom of the 7th.
That last pitch was called a strike to Tabor Stokes, so the count is 1-1. Claire continuing to watch second base where Holtorf is standing. And this one's a fly ball. Excuse me, that was a fly ball into right field. And it's going to be ruled as a sacrifice fly as Holtorf is safe at third. I apologize, I coughed into the mic. I couldn't reach the mute button in time. But there's now 2 away.
Happens to the best of us, Hank. It's all right. I won't hold it against you.
So the Larks are going to go back to the top of their order now, and now Braden Hebner, the only batter that hasn't appeared this inning, works with 2 outs. Claire delivers the pitch, and this one's a swing and a miss to Hebner for strike 1. Claire taking his time on the mound as he delivers the second pitch, and Hebner fouls that one off. Oh and 2 now the count to the DH for tonight's game. Fairly certain this is the first time we've seen Braden Hebner appear in the DH spot. He's been the primary left fielder for the Larks this season. And that is the case. I had to flip through my scorebook to make sure that that was right. He now faces an 0-2 count, and the catcher comes out of his stance for the next pitch for ball 1. Tonight, Hebner has 2 RBIs. He's reached base twice. Count stands at 1-2. Pitch goes to the plate, and it's high and outside. Claire just trying to end this inning. The Larks have scored 5 runs and turned a 2-run game into a 7-run game. Hebner pops this one out of play and will now wait the 6th pitch of the at-bat. The leadoff batter from this inning, at the start of this inning, Max Flowers, stands in the on-deck circle. And Hebner will swing and miss at that one. It's a drop third strike, and the throw down to first is in time for out number 3. Larks have a 7-run lead thanks to 5 runs scored that inning. It is 12-5 going into the top of the 8th. In that last inning, the Larks had 5 runs on 4 hits and only left 1 runner on base as they get set to face the 6th batter of the Angels order. It is number 30, Kyle Hubert. Justin Piñato is back to the mound. And the Larks did make 1 change in the field. In place of Sean Keenan in right field now is number 16, Ty Schmeidler. 1-0 count to start the inning for the center fielder. And Piñaro's next pitch is on the way. Going to the fastball that time, just a little bit too low. Now putting the count at 2 balls and no strikes. Kyle Hubert tonight is 1 for 2 with a 2 RBI double. Was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning and has since then struck out. And he now faces a 2-1 count as that one gets into the zone. Wilson now wants this one on the outside. Piñato kicks and deals. And that one's in there for strike 2. 2-0 count to start there for Piñato. He now gets back-to-back strikes. And in search of his 4th strikeout of the night. That would surpass what he had in his 2 prior appearances combined. And that one's just a little bit too inside, going to that curveball again. It is a full count now to the center fielder. Piñato gets set to deliver the payoff pitch, and this one's a swing and a miss on the outside part of the plate. It's called a foul tip by the home plate umpire, but it doesn't matter. There's the first out of the inning and 4th strikeout of the night for the freshman out of Mount San Antonio Junior College.
He has just looked so good on the mound, just pitching with conviction, and it's it's just fun to watch. I mean, you can tell he's out there having fun on the mound. Even though he doesn't have his happy face on right now, he's got his game face on. You can still tell he's having fun, and it's just so fun as a spectator to watch that.
Slider that time for Pinardo. Starts the count off 1-0 to Peyton Mitchlig. This is the start of the bottom third of their order. It'll be Logan Sullivan in the on-deck circle and Tyler Tiedemann in the hole. And Mitchlig will leave that one we'll let that one go right by him again for ball 2. Mitchlig is a freshman from Aurora, Colorado that just played his freshman year at the Division III level with Wittenberg. And that one's in there for strike 1. Now the count is 2-1. Mitchlig is 0 for 3 tonight with 2 flyouts into the outfield. Struck out in the 5th inning. And now the next pitch, he'll swing and miss at that one, putting the count at 2-2.
It's a nice elevated fastball. It's a pitch that a lot of batters will try and chase, especially if they don't see a fastball on the count and it's the only fastball they've seen. A lot of times they get eager and try and chase that one.
And he puts this one on the outside part of the plate, and just like the last inning, Justin Pinardo starts it with 2 strikeouts to put 2 away. He has 5 on the night, and now up is number 16, Logan Sullivan. The utility player, recent graduate of Air Academy High School. And his first pitch is going to get in the zone for strike 1. Sullivan is another player that's 0 for 3 tonight. A forwards K and a backwards K and a 4-3 ground out. The next pitch will go by for ball 1. Next pitch is a curveball, and it's a fly ball deep into right field. Running up on it is Ty Schmeidler, and he can't make the diving play. This one will roll past him, throwing it in is Flowers, and it's a double with 2 outs for Logan Sullivan. Ty Schmeidler is the new right fielder in place of Sean Keenan. Was sprinting after that one, but just couldn't get there in time.
Valiant effort there from him, and really all he could do there was lay out on that to have any chance of making a play on that ball. And, of course, his center fielder was right there next to him to kind of be there for backup. So really wasn't that big of a deal that he went ahead and dove for it and missed, just because of the fact that he knew he had his center fielder next to him.
A courtesy runner comes in now for Logan Sullivan. It's number 17, Cliff Goldie. And now up is number 2, Tyler Tiedemann. Two outs. Pinardo looks back at second, delivers the pitch. And this one's a pop fly. Running after it is both Stokes and Flowers. Stokes is the one that calls for it in the end and gets the catch for the 3rd and final out. Pinardo adds 2 more strikeouts, gives up a double on the very next batter, but he is left stranded after that pop out. 12-5 is the Larks lead as we start the bottom half of the 8th inning. For the second inning in a row, Max Flowers leads things off for the Larks. It's the bottom of the 8th inning, and he is tonight's 8th Street Liquor Beverage batter. See if he can get one more hit for the Larks fans. He did that to start off the last inning. He starts with a 1-0 count in the bottom of the 8th. Christian Clare is back to the mound for the Angels. Looks like they're just going to stick with him for the remainder of this game and not waste any arms for tomorrow's game, which is also another RMBL game. For a lot of the Larks opponents that come to Larks Park, they will play the first 2 games in RMBL play, and then the third game will be a non-league game, but that is not the case in this series. Clare gets set. The pitch goes to the plate, and this one's a deep fly ball into right field. Harbison will run back for this one, and he will stop at the wall. You can forget about it. It's a solo home run for Max Flowers to give the Larks a 13-5 lead.
That was a absolute nuke out into right field. That thing had no chance of staying in the ballpark the moment that came off the barrel of his bat. What a hit for Max Flowers.
The second home run of the game for the Larks as Flowers makes his way into the dugout there. And that's a way to give the Larks some discounted drinks. A solo home run. That brings his total now on the year up to, or that was actually his first home run as a Lark for the team. That's their 14th on the year. And the score is 13-5.
There it is. Congrats, Max. That's a good one to get under your belt, and a very nice blast at that. That thing cleared the scoreboard out there in right field.
You could tell from the sound that there was just no doubt about it. That one was gone. 1-0 is the count now to Rainer Bean.
I was skeptical at first just because of how many pitches or how many hits we've seen that go really high in the air and have good distance on them that you think are going to go, and then they just stay in the ballpark, and it's just like very underwhelming.
Rainer Bean is now dealt a 1-1 count after popping this one out of play. The Larks have a chance for another potential run roll at this rate that they're going. This will be their 5th time doing that in 9 games if they can just add 2 more runs. Clare will throw that one upstairs for ball 2. The Larks have a batter coming up that has a home run on the night already, so the Angels have to be careful. With no outs. Here's the pitch. And that one breaks into the zone for strike 2. Rainer Bean in search of his second hit of the night. Started 0 for 2, got a single, and then walked in the prior inning. Clare delivers the pitch, and this one's a foul ball. Rainer Bean will stay alive with a 2-2 count. Clare's looking for his first strikeout of the night. He delivers the pitch. And he can't find the zone there. The count is now 3-2. This is the second full count that Christian Clare has dealt to the Larks. The first one was the 2 RBI double from Tanner Norman. And this one will result in a walk as Rainer Bean will let that one go. And he heads down to first base for the third time tonight.
Well, and with that, now the game-winning run is at the plate with nobody out, giving the Larks a pretty strong possibility for a run rule here tonight. I know we said it earlier, but certainly increasing their odds as the more batters that come up to the plate.
And it's a pinch hitter. It's Ty Schmeidler, who was the defensive substitution for Sean Keenan, will come in as the pinch hitter. He lets the first one go by for a strike, and it's a successful steal there for Rainer Bean. And this one's going to roll to the center fielder, and Bean thought about running to third. He will just stay put.
Good call from him to stay over there at second base. I don't know if he would have made it over to third. That was a pass ball, yes, but the center fielder was on top of it and was there to haul things back in, I think that would have been a really tough play to get over to third base in time.
So Ty Schmiler, the pinch hitter for Sean Keenan, is dealt with an 0-1 count. And he'll hit this one high into the air. Running after it is Mitchlig. And he's got the catch for out number 1. That now brings up number 15, Hutch Russell. Working with the runner over at second base, Rainer Bean, who stole just a moment ago. See how the Larks approach this one. Like we said, they have a chance for another run rule. And they've shown that they're continuing to be aggressive here in the later parts of the game despite being up by so much.
We've seen the kind of power that Hutch Russell can put behind the baseball. There was a couple times here tonight that we thought that he had a pretty good chance of going yard, and man, wouldn't that be a way to end the game? Walk-off home run in a run rule.
Claire's next pitch is a swing and a miss for the first strike there to Hutch Russell.
He was going for dead on that ball. That was a big swing on that pitch.
Both Russell and Claire just taking their time as we await the third pitch. Here it is. And it's a slider that gets into the zone for strike number 2. Still just 1 out. Larks already have a run this inning. It was the solo home run from Max Flowers. This one takes a bounce before it even reaches home plate, moving the count to 2-2. Claire's still in search of that first strikeout. He came in the last inning. This is the 9th batter he's facing. And the next pitch is too low for ball 3. So he came in when Brand Wilson was up to bat. And after Hutch Russell walked, they decided it was time to make a change from Nick Mo Oaks to Christian Clare. Here comes the payoff pitch. And this one's a hard hit, and it'll get past the shortstop, and that should bring a – nope, they're going to stop him at third. Rainer Bean and Hutch Russell are now at both corners.
I bet you now they probably will send Hutch Russell over to second base and give them a chance to win this game here. With as much as they've drawn this inning out, especially with Brand Wilson up to the plate, he's a RBI machine, and if you need him to hit a sacrifice fly, he can do it for you. So I would not be surprised at all if we see a steal from first base.
Brand Wilson taking a couple practice swings, looping his bat around. And a throw back to first base is not in time.
Well, he must have heard me up here talking about them potentially stealing. He's listening to my tips up here. No pitch comms up here, I promise.
Here's the first pitch to Brand Wilson, and it's a swing and a miss for strike 1. Brand Wilson has a 1-for-3 performance tonight. That hit was a solo home run. Also had another appearance where he had a sacrifice fly into right field, bringing a run home. That home run also came off of a broken bat in the first inning. So maybe there might have been something behind that. Any correlation? We don't know.
Some broken bat mojo. Tell you, baseball players are some of the most superstitious people you will ever meet, so wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of correlation there, some sort of superstition about broken bats.
He'll swing and miss at the next pitch, and now the count is 1-2 to Brand Wilson. Runners still at the corners. Rayner being walked. He is at third. Hutch Russell had that single just a moment ago. Claire just needs one more strike for out number 2. And Wilson will foul it off. Still just 1 out. Larks have scored 6 runs in the last 2 innings. And Wilson hits a pop fly very high up. Tiedemann, Mitchell, and Shipley are both, all 3 of them are running after it. It's Mitchell that makes the catch in the end for out number 2. Mitchell has been responsible for each of the 2 outs in this inning. Now up is Tanner Norman. Norman's fresh off of a 2 RBI double. If he can add 2 more RBIs, it would end the game. The pitch goes to the plate, and he watches this one go by for ball 1. This time the catcher will center his glove. The pitch goes to the plate. And this one's too low now for Tanner Norman. He's ahead 2-0. Claire delivers the pitch, and that one breaks into the zone. It's a tied count now to Tanner Norman at 2-1. Claire took a look at first as he delivered that pitch, and it's too high for ball 3. Tanner Norman's already walked twice. This could be a potential third. And Claire sends this one to the plate. This one's a line drive, and this one will land in foul territory. So that's going to be a full count now with 2 outs.
That could have been it if it would have landed fair. That would have scored that runner all the way from first. He was on his high horse. You saw he made it all the way over to third before his third base coach said, "Hey, slow your horses there."
So they will call time to let Hutch Russell get back over to first. He had to walk behind the pitcher. That's something you don't usually see with a runner already at third. But now we await another payoff pitch from Christian Clare, the sophomore from Parker, Colorado. And here's the payoff pitch. That one's in there for strike number 3, and that will end the inning, and we will play a 9th inning. It's the top of the order for the Angels, down by 8, and the Larks just need 3 more outs. The Larks will now turn to a new arm to get the final 3 outs of the top of the 9th inning. It is Jackson Ramos. He just committed to Northern Kentucky 3 days ago, announced it when the Larks were making their bus trip down to Newton, and now he makes his 4th appearance of the season. He's facing the top of the order for the Gameday Angels. It's Matthew Shipley, then Dylan Volts, and James Harbison. He will have some words with Brandon Wilson. He now returns to home plate. All the infielders for the Larks are talking to each other. Now it's time for the pitch. Ramos' first pitch is in there for strike 1. We saw him kind of slow down his motion there and then followed through, and that one had a lot of power on it.
Can imagine how hard that is to read as a hitter. I can only imagine how difficult that is.
Goes to his slider that time, and that one will be called the first ball. Shipley tonight started 2 for 3. Both of his hits were singles. Also had a run, but other than that, he's had a pop out to the shortstop position and a fly out to right field back in the 6th inning. That fly out to right field was also his last appearance, so it's taken a few innings for the Angels to get back to the top of their order. Count is now 2-1. Ramos taking his time, he delivers, and this one's fouled out of play for strike 2.
He was way behind that pitch, and Ramos just has such good velocity when he's pitching the ball that it's just so hard to track a pitch like that. Even if it's over the plate, even if it's within the strike zone, it's just how do you even react to a pitch like that when it's coming in that fast?
Ramos kicks and deals, and this one's a line drive that's going to go into left field, and there's a hit for Matthew Shipley, his 3rd single of the night. That'll bring up number 5, Dylan Volts. The only Angel to score 2 runs tonight. Struck out twice since then. One was backwards, one was forwards. Now works with Matthew Shipley over at first base. Tanner Norman covers the bag. The pitch just missed the zone, and it's going to start the count off 1-0. And a throw back to first base. Tanner Norman was not ready for it. This one's going to go away, and this one's going to advance the runner on an error. Now he's going to take off for third. Norman will launch this one down there, and he is safe. So now Dylan Volts is awaiting the next pitch following the error by the Larks. It is the 3rd one that they've committed tonight.
Fielding-wise for both sides, this has been kind of a sloppy game, actually. 4 errors for that's 4 errors for the Larks now, and then, of course, 2 errors for the Gameday Angels. Really kind of out of the ordinary. Of course, last game there wasn't nearly as many as there is tonight.
The 1-1 pitch is going to go right down the middle for strike 2. Ramos has 7 strikeouts in 3 appearances. Had a big game on June 12th against the Colorado Lumberjacks, pitched 2 innings. And that was the game that went into extra innings. He got 4 strikeouts as the final pitcher to come in. And he misses on that one. The count moves to 2-2. Larks trying to get their 10th win against the Gameday Angels in the last 3 seasons. They are 9-2 since 2024. And the next pitch is a swing and a miss. And there is the first out of the inning. So Dylan Volts started with 2 runs and finishes with 3 strikeouts, and that brings up James Harbison. Working with a runner 90 feet away from home plate is Matthew Shipley. Had the single, and then because of a fielding error, advanced all the way to third. Half-hearted swing, and the home plate umpire will say he didn't go around, I don't think.
I don't think he went around. I actually thought more so that pitch might have been a strike. I don't know. I don't have nearly as good of a vantage point as he does behind home plate, so I guess I'll defer to him on that one. The umpire standing just near second base did motion that the hitter did not swing.
Pitch is a swing and a miss there for James Harbison.
I think it's safe to say that was a swing, though, on that pitch.
1-1 the count to the right fielder. He's got one hit tonight in his return to the lineup. He was the starting pitcher last night. 3 2/3 innings of work for him. And on the 1-1 count, he'll leave that one outside, and it'll tie it up. This is the sixth game now in this young season that the Larks have scored 10-plus runs. Yesterday they surpassed the 100-run mark, and that's a swing and a miss there for James Harbison. The Larks actually reached 100 runs before their opponents reached 25, as they came into this game outscoring their opponents 100-24. Ramos just needs one more strike to get James Harbison out. And he pops this one up. Schmeidler will run up on it, and he's got the catch, and they will send the runner home, and now he stops halfway down the base path. Brand Wilson will keep him at third.
So for those that didn't do the math at home on how many runs the Larks are scoring for every single run that the other team is scoring, it's 4 for every 1 run that the other team is scoring. That's pretty impressive, I'd say. I'd say that's a pretty I'd say if I was head coach Frank Leo, I'd be pretty happy about that offensive production there.
2 outs now for the Gameday Angels, and now Tyler Jenrich will try to keep the game alive. Ramos delivers, and it's a swing and a miss for strike one. Jenrich still looking for his first hit of the series as the leading batter for the Angels. And on the next pitch, Ramos targets the outside part of the plate, just missing the zone for ball one.
Yeah, some Larks faithful not very happy about that call. I heard of some chirping going on here in the stands, the final moments of this game.
Very high one there for Ramos, moves the count to 2-1. If he gets a strike on this next pitch, it would be the 4th batter in a row that he's dealt a 2-2 count. And here's the pitch to untie the count for Ramos. It's a swing and a miss, and there it is. 4 batters in a row dealt with a 2-2 count. They've had a single, a strikeout, and then a flyout. We will see how he approaches this pitch.
I'm guessing down and away on the outer half of the plate.
We will see if that's what Ramos does. This one goes to the plate. It's a swing and a miss, and the Larks are 9-0 with a 13-5 win.
Well, the Larks get it done in 9 innings. I thought, well, Hank and I both thought they were going to maybe get a run rule victory in the bottom of the 8th inning. They weren't able to get the run rule, but a W is a W no matter how you look at it. The Larks move to 9-0. What a start to the season for the Hayes Larks. I'm going to step aside for just a moment, and in just about a minute or two, we will have Hank's on-field post-game interview with a couple of our stars from tonight's game. Don't go anywhere. Our post-game interview here in just a moment.
Tonight's post-game player interview with Hank Corsair, sponsored by Lewis Automotive in Hayes. Hank, it is yours.
Thank you, Ken. I'm here first with Justin Piñardo, who got 5 strikeouts tonight in your 3rd relief appearance. What was working for you on the mound?
I think everything was working for me, but, I have a good defense behind me, and then I have a catcher behind the plate that's pretty good. So it's easy to trust these guys to make the plays for me.
And I'm going to ask Tabor a similar question in just a second, but tonight you were playing from behind again, so how did the bullpen react to that?
We just want to do our job, pump the strike zone, get ahead, and let the defense make our plays, pretty much.
And this bullpen as a whole that has showed that they are very talented. So for you as an individual, what do you bring to this bullpen?
I'm the only lefty in the pen, so just pump the strike zone. That's all I got.
Well, congrats on a great win tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Justin Piñardo. I'm now here with Tabor Stokes. You scored 2 runs tonight and had 2 hits, including 1 of 2 triples. How were you able to do that?
Just getting my pitch and getting my swing off. That was really it.
And then, like I said to him, you guys played from behind tonight for the 4th time this season, and you win big again. How are the batters able to do that?
Just a gritty bunch and gritty zero is all I got to say.
Congrats on the 9-0 start. Ladies and gentlemen, Tabor Stokes.
Thanks, Hank, and thank you, Tabor Stokes and Justin Piñardo, for tonight's post-game interviews.
Well, we appreciate Hank conducting our on-game or on-field post-game interviews this evening. Hank and I will be having our post-game show here in just a moment. We'll have our final thoughts and we'll sign off. And then we will see you folks tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. We will have our post-game show here in just a moment. Nine wins without a loss for the Hayes Larks as they win tonight by a final score of 13-5 over the Gameday Angels to fully secure this series and improve their RMBL record to 8-0 as they still sit in first place. Welcome to the post-game show, everybody. I'm Hank Corsair, once again joined alongside by Eli Blankenship. And I was talking about it on that interview that the Larks had to play from behind for the 4th time this season, and by the 2nd inning, they retook the lead and never gave it back. Yeah, and I think that it really speaks to this team's ability to deal with whenever there's that playing from behind factor. It speaks to their grittiness. It speaks to this team's ability to perform under pressure. And I was really impressed with the way they were able to do that and bring themselves back into this game, even despite having a bit of a slow start here in this contest. They've been using that word a lot, gritty. They have. They really have. And honestly, they've been living up to it. So I say it's their word until they prove me wrong. And I don't foresee that being in the future with this team. And a lot of key performances for this team tonight. The Larks had Max Flowers, the only player to score 3 runs. You had a home run from Brandon Wilson. Tabor Stokes accounted for an RBI and 2 runs of his own. And Tanner Norman added that 2 RBI double. And this team's just really coming together perfectly so early on in the season. A lot of that has to do with the fact that they're already here, aside from last season where a lot of the guys arrived very late. Some I don't think arrived till July, if I'm remembering correctly, but they have everybody here now, and that means they can play as a complete team. Yeah, and I think the big key for this Larks team is going to be staying healthy. They need to make sure they're doing all the things in terms of recovery, post-game stuff, stretching, ice baths, all the things, because you always are worried. You always run the risk of that one guy getting hurt. And last season there were some injuries in the bullpen, and that really came down the stretch, came to affect the overall performance of the team. And so I think that this year, I've even noticed with head coach Frank Leo, he's even been even more uber cautious than he has in the past about making sure he's conserving his players and not overworking them, because it's a long season. Well, not a long season, but it's a quick season with a lot of games is more so what I'm getting at. It's a very jam-packed season. It's very intense. It's not nearly what some of these athletes are used to. So I think staying healthy is going to be the key for this team going forward.
And the Gameday Angels, they can't win the series, but they have a chance to avoid a sweep tomorrow. Looking back at that first game, the pitching was there, the bats were not. Tonight, it's vice versa. So the question is, what do they do tomorrow to avoid that?
I think getting out early like they did today was great. I think that was a good first step in the right direction. I think, unfortunately, their bullpen is very limited, and so it makes it very challenging for them to win late games in the series. You have, the first game of the series, ideally for that bullpen, is going to be their best shot at winning the series because of the fact that they're going to put their ace on the mound and hope for the best. But when they've got a limited rotation in that bullpen, it's really hard to say whether or not Game 3 of the series is going to be a feasible option for them to even try to pull away with a victory. So we'll see if they can avoid the sweep tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see if they can pull that off or not. It's hard to say. They have a tall task for certain.
So tomorrow's game will be a 7 o'clock start time, and then on June 19th, the Larks will welcome the Newton Rebels for a non-league game and then get a day off. So the Larks are 9-0 with a 13-5 win tonight. And that's going to wrap up our coverage of tonight's game. I'm Hank Corsair, joined alongside by Eli Blankenship. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, and have a great rest of your night.